A staple is a type of two-pronged fastener, usually metal, used for joining or binding materials together. Large staples might be used with a hammer or staple gun for masonry, roofing, corrugated boxes and other heavy-duty uses. Smaller staples are used with a stapler to attach pieces of paper together. Such staples are a permanent and durable fastener for paper documents, unlike the paper clip. Etymology. The word staple originated in the late 13th century, from Old English stipul, meaning post, pillar. The word's first usage in the paper fastening sense is attested from 1895. Advantages. Most kinds of staples are easier to produce than nails or screws. The crown of the staple can be used to bridge materials butted together. The crown can bridge a piece and fasten it without puncturing with a leg on either side, for example fastening cable to wood framing. The crown provides greater surface area than other comparable fasteners. This is generally more helpful with thinner materials. Staples in construction. Construction staples are commonly larger, have a more varied use, and are delivered by a staple gun or hammer tacker. Staple guns do not have backing anvils and are exclusively used for tacking. They typically have staples made from thicker metal. Some staple guns use arched staples for fastening small cables, for example phone or cable TV, without damaging the cable. Faster and easier devices known as hammer tackers or staple hammers operate without complex mechanics as a simple head loaded with a strip of staples drives them directly. This method requires a measure of skill. Powered electric staplers or pneumatic staplers drive staples easily and accurately. They are the simplest manner of applying staples, but are hindered by a cord or hose. Paper staples. The term stapling is used for both fastening with straight or bent legs. However, when differentiating between the two, the term tacking is used for straight leg stapling, while the term stapling is used for bent leg stapling when being contrasted with tacking. The legs of a staple can be allowed to protrude out the backside and folded over to provide greater binding than the friction of straight legs. Staple specifications Modern staples for paper staplers are made from zinc-plated steel wires glued together and bent to form a long strip of staples. Staple strips are commonly available as full strips with 210 staples per strip. Both copper-plated and more expensive stainless steel staples which do not rust are also available. Some staple sizes are used more commonly than others, depending on the application required. Some companies have unique staples just for their products. Staples from one manufacturer may or may not fit another manufacturer's unit even if they look similar and serve the same purpose. Staples are often described as XY, where the first number X is the gauge of the wire, and the second number Y is the length of the shank in millimeters. Some exceptions to this rule include staple sizes like number 10. Common sizes for the home and office include 26/6, 24/6, 24/8, 13/6, 13/8 and no €10 for mini staplers. Common sizes for heavy-duty staplers include 23/8, 23/12, 23/15, 23/20, 23/24, 13/10, and 13/14. Stapleless staplers cut and bend paper without using metal fasteners. Standards. There are few standards for staple size, length and thickness. This has led to many different incompatible staples and staplers systems, all serving the same purpose or applications. 24/6 staples are described by the German DIN 7405 Euro standard. In the United States, the specifications for non-medical industrial staples are described in ASTM F1667-13, Standard Specification for Driven Fasteners, Nails, Spikes, and Staples. A heavy-duty office staple might be designated as F1667 a Euro STFCC04. Street indicates staple, FC indicates flat top crown, C indicates co-head, and 04 is the dash number for a staple with a length of 0.250 inch, a leg thickness of 0.020 inch, a leg width of 0.030 inch, and a crown width of 0.500 inch. Staples in the home. The most common staples are used with paper. They are almost exclusively applied with a mechanical stapler which clinches the legs after they pass through the paper. Staples of this type are used with a desktop stapling machine. When stapling with a stapler, the papers to be fastened are placed between the main body and the anvil. The papers are pinched between the body and the anvil, then a drive blade pushes on the crown of the staple on the end of the staple strip. The staple breaks from the end of the strip and the legs of the staple are forced through the paper. As the legs hit the grooves in the anvil, they are bent to hold the pages together. Many staplers have an anvil in the form of a pinning, or stapling switch. This allows a choice between bending in or out. The outward bent staples are easier to remove and off for temporary fastening or pinning. Most staplers are capable of stapling without the anvil to drive straight leg staples for tacking. There are various types of staples for paper, including heavy-duty staples, designed for use on documents 20, 50, or over 100 pages thick. There are also spade-point staples, which have slightly sharper teeth so they can go through paper more easily. Staples in business. Staples are commonly considered to be a neat and efficient method of binding paperwork such as letters and documents in all areas of office business. This is predominantly because of the low cost and high availability of the staple, and because its small size does not detract from the content of the document. The large staples found on corrugated cardboard boxes have folded legs, but they are applied from the outside and do not use an anvil. Jaw-like appendages push through the cardboard alongside the legs and bend them from the outside. Saddle stitch staplers, also known as booklet staplers, feature a longer reach from the pivot point than general-purpose staplers and are used to bind pages into a booklet or signature. Some, such as the Ring King, can also use loop staples that enable the user to integrate folded matter into ring books and binders. Outward clinch staples are blind staples, that is, there is no anvil, and they are applied with a staple gun. When applied, each staple leg forms a curve bending outwards. This is in part caused by the shape of the crown, which is like an inverted V, and not flat as in ordinary staples. Also, the legs are sharpened with an inside bevel point, causing them to tend to go outwards when forced in the base material. These staples are used for upholstery work, especially in vehicles, where they are used for fastening fabric or leather to a foam base. Staples in packaging. Staples are used in various types of packaging. Staples can attach items to paperboard for carded packaging. Staples of stitches can be used to attach the manufacturer's joint of corrugated boxes. Staples are used to close corrugated boxes. Small staples can be applied to a box with a post stapler. Wider crown staples can be applied with a blind clincher. Staples can help fabricate and attach paperwork to wooden boxes and crates boxes. Staples in medicine. Surgical staples are used for the closing of incisions and wounds, a function also performed by sutures. History. In ancient times, the staple had different functions. Large metal staples dating from the 6th century BC have been found in the masonry works of the Persian Empire. For the construction of the pasagadi, these staples, which are known as dovetail, or swallowtail staples, were used for tightening stones together. The home stapling machine was developed by Henry Hull in 1877 and registered under U.S. Patent No. 195603. Hull's companies, American Paperbox Machine Company, Novelty Paperbox Company, and Standard Box Company, all of Philadelphia, manufactured machinery using staples in paper packaging and for saddle stitching. See also, stapler, staple gun, staple remover, hammer tacker. References. External links: History of the Stapler, Office Museum, Abstract, F. 1667, ASTM. Staple, Britannica, 1911 discusses many uses of the word.